Good afternoon. Today's fly is a relatively new fly I've started tying. I call it the weapon of mass destruction, or for short, the W.M.D. First of all, we tie in a base thread of black this time. Any colour would do, but black seems to be the one that works for me. This fly was created earlier this year and has been proven to be quite a success when times have been difficult. So take the thread right down past the bend of the hook, right round the bend of the hook, as far as we can think we can go, reasonably go. There we go, and trim off the excess. Tie in a piece of copper wire for the end, for the tail part. This is a number 33 orange wire. You can get it at the angling centre. If that's what you really want to do. Or you can get it all online. Again, my favourite dubbing I'm going to use is some Australian opossum. Just a little drop, not too much, we're not going very far with this. And again, a touch of Rain-X on the fingers, moisten it, lubricate it up one, so that I can create a little noodle onto the thread. Tie that in. And then run the wire that I've just tied in round it a couple of turns, so it's got just a slight little rib. I don't know whether it's just for aesthetic value or not, but it seems to work. And tie that off. So that's the tail end of the fly. And run the thread, keeping the body thin. And the thread up to halfway along the shank. And then tie in a piece of chenille, black chenille is what I use in this. Invention. This will become apparent why this is in there like that in a moment. Just keep that as little build up as possible. Tie it off nice and tidily. Now we're going to use a bit of deer hair again, coastal deer hair, chopped again earlier. This time I'm using quite a lot of deer hair, quite a few strands. This is because this is going to be a wing material. We run that onto the fly, make sure it's as long as it is to the end of the fly, at the bend of the hook, as you can see. That's about the right length. And tie that in nice and tight. A few turns on that, and that gives us a nice, it looks pretty like that, but that's all got to come off. we've trimmed that back a bit. Trim back a little more. Cut that down. Now, as you can see, we've got a nice wing shape there, and in order to separate the wings, as you'll see there, I'll draw from the chenille between the wings, between the fibres, and create more wings, make them more wing-like, as you can see, separating them. Tie off the chenille, trying to keep it on the top of the hook, yes. And trim off the excess. Still have some of the original fibres hanging down there, we don't want them sticking out. There they're all shape. And finally tie off the end. Leaving it nice and simple. Again, not using a whipping tool, I'll just use my fingers in this instance, because they're at the end of my fingers. Now this fly has worked for me when the rest of the box isn't working. It's always one of the last ones I used if nothing was working, and I now use it more and more because for some reason it seems to work better than others on difficult days. Here, as you can see, we now have the weapon of mass destruction. I'll just finish it off as I do with all my flies, with a dab of flue glue on the end. And there it is, the weapon of mass destruction. Take off all the little bits at the end. Sometimes.